the star of the show, the headliner, creating the whole amazing vibe. I felt like I was like back in time at certain moments.
Good.
Like any kind of, whenever I dream of shows that I would like to go to in the past, it's like old Harlem or something like that, which, you know, obviously, I don't know exactly where you would be. You could be anywhere, but it was like that intimate, nostalgic, timeless vibe that you created. So thank you for that.
Thank you for that beautiful affirmation. That's exactly what I want people to feel. So.
Yes, everything about you is timeless. And I have to ask, I mean, I know you were an intern for School Night for many years.
Yeah.
And I just was saying to Doris off camera, like, girl, I don't know what you were doing, like managing other artists and being an intern, baby, you are the star. How does it feel to now be on the other side headlining the show that you were interning for?
I mean, as full circle as it gets, you know, like I interned here during my last year of college and it was absolutely life-changing for me. It landed me my first gig, real gig in the music industry that put me on tour for the first time, and I think like the rest is history after that, you know, and I haven't even been back in this building in years because, well, we lived in a whole panty and stuff, you know, and so, I used to chill back here, do my homework back here, you know, like trying to count my hours and figure out like what my turnaround was going to be because I used to intern on the west side on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 in the morning. And I'd get home at 1 in the morning. Yeah. But I'd have to drive from the OC to
it was a grind.
It was like a 5-hour turnaround. Yeah. And I was just like, you know what? Like we're gonna make this work and this is an investment and it's gonna come around, and now that I'm here in this way, well,
it's so beautiful. And I mean, do you feel like your time of doing that helped inform you as an artist? Seeing all the artists perform and like all the background work, like how did that affect you as an artist now?
I think it just postures me in so much more gratitude, and I think it allows me to step into the shoes of how this is such a beautiful ecosystem where everyone should be affirmed and appreciated for the work that they do, because we're all alley-ooping each other moves left and right. It isn't just the folks that you see on stage, it's the stage hands, it's the soundboard, it's the folks that are sending emails left and right, you know, yourself. Like it's a village to prop up one piece of art. And I mean, I grew up performing. I grew up in a family of musicians as well, like Tito, in a Christian family of worship leaders. And so music always surrounded me. I always grew up performing. And so my time here was me finally really learning the ins and outs of like production and stepping into that role. So it just makes me so much more appreciative of what it takes to put on a show. Yeah,
and you mentioned family, and you have a documentary that's out now that includes a lot of your family's story in it, right? What did that mean to you to make that documentary, and did it feel like a story you were ready to share with people? How was the vulnerability of it?
Well, I mean, we just had the Sundance premiere a few weeks ago, and we just got the news that we got distribution, but I don't know
distribution?
Who yet. It's a surprise.
Okay.
The director told me that she wants to tell me in person. Okay. But the announcement's supposed to come out this week.
Amazing. Congratulations.
So we'll see what happens. Yeah. And I mean, I think I grew up in a family as the only natural-born citizen in a documented family. And so in that, you don't tell your story. You live in the shadows. And it's something that can be taboo, or you just don't bring it up. And so I think I needed a film like this growing up to feel like there was some hope for some reunions to happen in my family, that there was going to be a moment where my parents can return to Mexico and return back to the States safely, see, you know, their kids grow up, see their grandkids grow up. And, you know, that film was 3 years in the making. And it was pretty much a secret to the world until we made it into Sundance. And that was very intentional, where I didn't really feel ready to let the world in on it until, well, it emerged that way.
And what was that like? I mean, what was the feeling of putting it out there? I mean, when it happened?
Well, when it happened, I was sitting next to my mother and my father and my brother, and I mean, I just saw it for the first time with my brother, who, you know, lives in Tijuana on Thursday, you know, and this is, you know, a story of millions. So I was really nervous about how people were going to receive it, for those who don't necessarily know the circumstances of being born in a mixed status family, or don't really understand the world of immigration and how complex it is to really be living in the United States as a kid of an immigrant, or as an immigrant yourself. And, you know, it was a sea of sniffles in that theater, and just to know that people connected with it that deeply, even if that wasn't their narrative, like, I just hope that it impacts and changes people's minds the way that we hope it should.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that it did. You told it so beautifully and so with so much authenticity and sincerity. So that's really all you can do, right?
Yeah, that's all you can do. Show up as authentically as possible, and then the rest it just happens.
And so your debut single is out now, right?
Yes,
That's so exciting. How's the response been?
It's been, it came out on the 11th, and today, it's been 10 days.
10 days.
It's been 10 days. And I mean, the way that the song came together was very magical, from LA to Mexico City and back. And so I had a whole moment to process it finally over the weekend. From community support, first and foremost, like the folks that are sharing it. And
I was looking at like so many amazing artists that I'm a fan of or a fan of yours too, you know? And like I could see like just by seeing how many people support you, I can also see on top of that what an amazing person you are, that people want to support what you do. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, I mean the artist support, like the peer support, that means the absolute world. And to have like the folks that are working within the industry to also support what we're doing, from editorial to playlisting to like Yesterday was Sunday.
What day is it?
Right?
Yesterday was Sunday.
I was at the beach with one of my best friends, and somebody texted me that Que Sufras was on KCRW.
Nice.
And we just so happened to like just get in my car finally, and we're like frantically like clicking around, and we get to it, and Jose Galvan was spitting Que Sufras, and we just started screaming and had this whole moment where like, I had no idea that was about to happen, and what are the chances I would have literally just stepped into my car to hear that. And so, they've been spinning it in LA and Chicago and Seattle, and this is just, all the doors are just opening so naturally, and I'm just finally surrendering. Like for years of working behind the scenes and managing artists and all that, I just felt like it wasn't meant for me, or it wasn't my time. And so now that I finally just allowed myself to like, okay, let me just
your voice. I mean, I can't
know?
imagine like you hiding that voice from us. What the hell?
It's the Hannah Montana wig. It came off, all the way off.
The wig off. And there's a dope music video for the song too, right? Like, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah,
quickly?
I mean, we shot that in Mexico City. I called my good friend Jasmine Garcia, who's like my dream director, to work on the project. She happened to be in Mexico City at the time. The call was on a Friday. I had to fly to Mexico on a Monday, and we shot that following Friday.
Wow.
And just the dream team of creatives that are within the city happened to be available on that Friday, and that was like true Sagittarius, like, oh, we're gonna do it.
Is that your sign?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I'm Sagittarius rising.
Oh, let's go. She's down for an impromptu plan. You know?
Yeah, definitely.
If it's a challenge and we got to do it under pressure and time pressure,
rode into it.
Say
right?
less.
It's like the horse with
exactly. Yeah, horse. What is it? Carriage before the horse always. But like it works out. It always ends up working out.
Channel that Sagittarius energy. Let's get to some of the questions from the audience. Eternal Sunshiny says, Doris, who are your favorite Latin artists?
Oh, okay. Right now, I mean, I just got off tour with Silvana Estrada. She just put out her album Marchita like a month ago.
She's amazing.
An incredible poet. Like, I'm just mind blown by her every night that we played together. Mon Laferte, Natalia Forcade. I mean, I worked her show here. It was like September of 2015, and that's when she was promoting Hasta la Raíz. And from that moment to now, I think like those are the folks that remind me to come back to center, and like the songs that inspired like my ancestors as well too. So I think they bring me very close to home, and I'm a sucker for former women within the music space. So they're kind of my favorites.
Me too, girl. Yeah. Let's get to one more AMA. Cali Culture says, your vocals are amazing. When did you begin training your instrument? And do you have any particular vocalists who influenced you?
Ooh, I mean, I think like Tito, I was listening to the interview. I started singing before I was talking to, where like my whole mom's side of the family are the ones who immigrated to this country, and they're all musicians. And so it was just very natural. Like every holiday was a jam session. I was constantly surrounded by it. So since I could remember, I was always singing, and I was always encouraged to do so. I was very lucky to have immigrant parents actually encourage me and were really supportive for me being creative. Like, who would have known? But then I had brothers who experienced this country in a different light, you know, so they put me on to like Sade and Aaliyah and Mariah Carey, but also all the alternative stuff. Like I was a super like rockera like growing up too. So like I'm at heart, I'm that little old girl, you know, and
lots
so
of influences.
I'm all over the place, but I mean, vocally, like, it will come down to like the classics from like Lola Beltran to Lucha Villa to Linda Ronstadt, like all the ranchera singers. Like my mom was always like, Doris, you need to sing rancheras. Like you have like the voice for it. And I was so emo at that time. I was like, no, mom, like it's not a phase. Like this is what I'm into right now. But I came around to it.
What made you come around to it?
I think like once I went to college and I was really submerged in a whole new environment where I grew up in a predominantly like brown and black neighborhood, and all of a sudden I was in a predominantly white institution that I was like so desperately seeking community that I found that through music.
Yeah.
And that's when I fully like dove into all of the boleros and the rancheras that my mom would play growing up, and it just, when I was homesick, you know?
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah. It's like comfort food.
Exactly.
But music
Yeah,
wise.
I would play it on my own Saturday mornings to clean, you know?
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, you're like your mom was there with you in a sense.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, it's so beautiful the way you make it your own, and you can hear like all the different influences, and it's just really unexpected and unique. And I'm so excited that you're doing your thing. What do you think is going to be next for you? You've got your debut single out.
Yes.
And
So
it feels like it's just the beginning.
It's just beginning. I mean, this whole year is going to be like an oscillation between like the music and the documentary. Like I said, we find out this week like who's distributing. Well, I find out this week who's distributing the film, and so I know
really exciting.
that it's just I'm putting out another single probably in the next couple months, putting out an EP in the spring.
EP in the spring.
And then I know that the film will have its moment in the fall.
Yeah, dope.
Too. So
it's going to be an exciting year. It already is. It's going to continue to be an exciting year.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. I have one more question for you, which is our Mitsubishi Drive Your Ambition question of the night. What actress should play you in the Doris Anahi feature film?
Period. America Ferrera, hi, I love you so much. You're older than me, but hi.
You were ready with that answer.
Since I was a kid, though. I mean, Real Women Have Curves was like my first real form of representation growing up. But I mean, she's just been that.
I could see it.
That person.
Yeah,
so.
that'd be beautiful.
That's a really cool question.
It is a cool question, right? Yeah. Well, Doris, thank you so much. It was so wonderful having you headline and share your energy with us, and we'll look forward to seeing more from you.
Me too.